Hey Switch 2 fans, we've got some interesting news because Samsung's reportedly pushing Nintendo to release a Switch 2 OLED version. Well, if they were that interested in the Switch 2 having OLED, then maybe they should have been pushing Nintendo like 2 years ago when they were developing this thing. Let me know if you agree. Anyways, before we get into the video, please like, subscribe, click the bell icon. Check the links down below in the video description for the links to the new micro SD express cards for the Switch 2. Only 2 places that are selling them right now, as well as a link to the best accessories, JSOX accessories for the Switch 2, as well as our 24/7 Nintendo Switch 2 stock tracker stream, hangout stream. It's the place to be before release, during release, and after release to help you get your hands on a Switch 2. It even has a stock tracker alarm to help you know the second that they drop. But without further ado, let's get into this article. So that OLED Switch 2 you were dreaming of could become a reality. Well, as I said, if Samsung were really pushing Nintendo, they could have been pushing them years ago. Because as we know, Switch 2 has been on the cards for a long time. Nintendo fans have been asking Nintendo for an OLED for the Switch 2 for a long time. So it makes no sense to me that Samsung are just now, reportedly pushing Nintendo to release a Switch 2 OLED. I don't know if it's a case of Nintendo just wanting to keep the price down, although that doesn't seem fair or right, considering that they're using a 4-year-old SoC from 2021, and it's taken them this long to get it out, and it's already $450 to $500 to buy. It's already kind of pricey, so I'm not sure if price is a factor, honestly. I don't know why. Maybe they're just hoping to do like a secondary money grab in a few years and release a Switch 2 OLED. Who knows? Probably that, let's be honest. But yeah, let's read the article. So if you ask a bunch of people what the most disappointing thing about the Nintendo Switch 2 is, at least one of them will mention the LCD display, and I would agree with that. Obviously, the Switch 2, I was really hoping and gunning for an OLED after having experienced the OLED on the Switch OLED model, which I thought was beautiful. You know, I've been obsessed with OLEDs the past couple of years. We've got OLED TVs, OLED in our phones, the deep blacks, the vibrant colors, the brightness, just how nice it looks, every pixel individually being lit up. It just looks phenomenal. It's great for movies, and it looks really great, even better for games almost. So I was disappointed. I'm not going to ding Nintendo too many points for not having the OLED, just because I've seen comparisons. Go watch one of my other videos where we compare the OLED to the Switch 2 as far as display quality is concerned. It is leagues, the new Switch 2 display is leagues beyond the original Switch display, and when compared with the OLED as far as the vibrancy and brightness is concerned, it looks pretty damn good, as well as the blacks look pretty decent as well on the Switch 2. No, they're not the deep blacks we expect in the OLED, but the blacks are still pretty damn black, so I'm not going to ding them too many points about the display in the Switch 2. It still looks pretty nice. But yeah, it's not an OLED, and a lot of people are bummed about it. So no OLED found here. Frustrating for some. It's not all that surprising considering how expensive the Switch 2 already is, but this could change in the future. I can guarantee you it's going to change. According to Bloomberg, Samsung's already started pushing to use OLED panels in a future version of the Switch 2. While that doesn't mean an OLED Switch 2 is confirmed just yet. Oh, come on. And we know it's confirmed. The question is not if, it's when we're going to get an OLED Switch 2. The fact that one of Nintendo's key hardware partners is pushing for an OLED model could be good news. Samsung isn't just turning around to Nintendo and saying, hey, you should make an OLED Switch 2, and we just so happen to provide a panel. Samsung is a key supplier of hardware for both Switch consoles and also provide an OLED display panel used in the Switch OLED. So while the company does have a vested interest in there being a Switch 2 OLED, that pressure is probably a good thing, especially considering how well received the Switch OLED was thanks to the improved display tech, though I wouldn't expect to see Switch 2 OLED for another couple of years at least. Nintendo and Samsung have a new and improved relationship. Nintendo's also reportedly signed a deal with Samsung to help make chips for the Switch 2. In all honesty, the fact that the Switch 2 doesn't have an OLED right out of the gate could just be an availability issue. Maybe Samsung didn't have the supply capabilities to supply the amount of OLED displays that would be needed for a brand new hardware launch like the Switch 2. Maybe they were like, oh, Nintendo, you know, we'd love the Switch 2 to have an OLED. We just can't produce like 1 to 2 million panels in this time frame, especially during tariffs and market conditions. So obviously I understand they're probably interested in the future. Maybe it's a case they just couldn't fulfill that much demand, so they had to use LCD. But who knows, right? But yeah, they're already making chips. Obviously Samsung have a vested interest in this because obviously they make money off of every panel sold to Nintendo for the Switch 2. So, you know, it's a money maker for them as well. You know, I mean, Samsung already have to make displays for their phones, their tablets, and everything like that. So, you know, another 2 million, another like 15 million displays in 1 year is a big ask for any company, right, to produce. So, like I said, it probably comes down to just, you know, availability, parts availability. Making 15 million OLEDs in a year, just, you know, it's a big ask. So it could just be Samsung not being able to fulfill that. Who knows? Now, as they are still going to be making a lot of money because they're going to be selling the chips, or they're making the chips with Nintendo for the Switch 2, obviously the SoCs. So they're still making money off that. At least they're making some money off the Switch 2. While Switch 1 chips were manufactured by TSMC, Bloomberg claims that Nintendo switched to Samsung because its manufacturing systems were just better optimized to build the custom NVIDIA chipset that powers the Switch 2. That deal apparently came about so that Nintendo could ramp up production in the wake of the Switch 2's popularity. Nintendo hopes to sell 20 million units by March 2026, and ramping up production to ensure supply matches demand is the best way to do that. It should mean that finding a Switch 2 should get a lot easier later in the year. We can't predict how long it might take for the ramped up production to mean more units on store shelves, so be sure to check out Switch 2 Pre-Order Live to find out when retailers have stock. Now, as always, I have to recommend you go to my channel page or check the link in the description. We literally have a 24/7 Nintendo Switch 2 stock tracker and hangout stream where you can literally get an alarm and beat the bots of scalpers when this thing restocks, when it restocks, and what retailer it restocks at. The second it goes live, definitely hang out here, leave it in the background. It's usually silent unless I pop on every now and again to say hello to you guys. We've got a notepad down there with all the latest news, as well as a countdown to the Switch 2, and a really great community, more importantly, that loves talking about Switch 2 all day, talk about what games they're getting, what they're excited for, have they got a pre-order yet. So if you just want to hang out, read what people are saying, and just chime in every now and again, great place to do that. But yeah, there we go, guys. Samsung Switch 2 OLED. Are you getting a Switch 2 OLED the second that they get released? Let me know in the comments section if you are. Is it going to be like a day one purchase? I mean, I remember when I got the freaking original Switch. I mean, I wasn't planning on getting a Switch OLED originally, right? But once I saw my wife turn hers on, I was just like blown away by the screen clarity. I mean, it can't be overstated, like how, forgive the fingerprints, how beautiful that display is, right? It looks absolutely stunning. It looks like a sticker on the screen. Even the Switch just feels so nice in the hand. After playing the Steam Deck for a long time and other handhelds and just, you know, controllers, the Switch 2 just feels so slim. I love it. The Switch OLED. I cannot wait to get my hands on the Switch 2. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'm Blaze2K, your old buddy Blaze, always here doing news for you. Please like, subscribe, click the bell icon if you like it, if it helps out. Subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications. We post multiple times a day on Switch 2 news, little news, tidbits here and there, tech news, gaming news, all that good stuff. And check the links down below in the description as well, like I said, for links to that stock tracking stream, for links to the micro SD cards, express cards. If you click my link down there and buy it through there, it gives me a small commission, helps out in a big way. Let me know if you did. Send me an email or something saying, hey Blaze, I ordered it using your link. It really helps out. And all the best accessories, as well as JSOX's brand new Switch 2 line as well in the description. So always check the description and check out what's new. As far as accessories and new tech and, you know, links are concerned, because I'm always switching up the description. Anyways, have a great day. Have an amazing day. I'm telling you, have a good day. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys. Blaze2K.
Let's go.